everybody, my name is Kristen. I want to go ahead and introduce myself. I am 28 years old. I wanted to start this channel, Navigating Chiari, to go ahead and help you guys just do that, navigate Chiari. I was diagnosed with Chiari Malformation last year and I got decompressed on December 10th. Chiari can be a really scary diagnosis, and I think overall what I want to do with this channel is just help those who think that they could possibly have Chiari, or those who are freshly diagnosed with Chiari, or those who are scared for decompression. In this video specifically, I want to open it up with starting about what Chiari Malformation is and going ahead and explaining what the symptoms of Chiari Malformation are for those that don't know or could think that they could possibly have Chiari Malformation. So essentially what Chiari Malformation is a complex brain abnormality that affects the area where the brain and the spinal cord connect at the base of your skull. It occurs when part of your brain, specifically your cerebellum, extends into your spinal canal through an opening called the foramen magnum. So essentially what Chiari Malformation is that your brain is so compressed up against your skull that it is pushing your brain stem down into your spinal canal. And with some people that can block the CSF flow, and with some people that the CSF flow could be perfectly fine. And I realized with a bunch of research and also speaking to a bunch of different people who have Chiari, there's been people that have no CSF flow and they're perfectly fine, they're asymptomatic. And there's people that do have perfect CSF flow, but they're extremely symptomatic, and that's me over here. There are 4 types of Chiari Malformation. Chiari 1 is the most common in adults. Chiari 2 is a pediatric form of Chiari, which is also called Arnold Chiari. It is the one most commonly associated with spina bifida. Chiari 3 is another form of pediatric Chiari that is more severe than Chiari 2. And Chiari 4 is a form of Chiari that is typically fatal in infancy. As an adult, typically the Chiari you're going to be diagnosed with is Chiari 1. Something that I've learned is that with Chiari, there's so much that they're still trying to learn about Chiari that everything is constantly changing. When I got diagnosed with Chiari, I went ahead and sent off my MRI scans for second opinion via Dr. Greenfield. He is the head of the Chiari Institute in New York. He sent me back an email letting me know that yes, I did have Chiari, and I actually had what is called Chiari 1.5. Essentially, it is a more severe version of Chiari. If you're essentially somebody who thinks you could possibly have Chiari, I want to go over a couple of symptoms that are the main symptoms of Chiari Malformation. Headaches that get worse after sneezing or coughing, dizziness, heart palpitations, numbness in your upper or lower extremities randomly, nausea, random vomiting spells, difficulty with your walking. And that's what makes Chiari so complex, is that to the untrained eye, these are all symptoms of multiple things. So you could have an ear infection. For the longest time, I was being told that I had an ear infection, and that is why I had vertigo. It is hard to get diagnosed with Chiari, and that will be a video for another day. I'm gonna go through all the trials and tribulations that I went through personally to get my diagnosis. I am in no way a doctor. I cannot give you guys any medical advice, but if these are some of the symptoms that you guys do have and that they've been worsening, and your doctor has just not been able to figure it out, or you just don't know what it is, I would recommend deep diving more into Chiari. It is extremely rare, 0.1% of the population of us have it, and I'm really hoping that in some way, shape, or form, me doing these videos does help somebody. I really want this to be the start of a community, because we all have Chiari and it's a scary diagnosis, like I've said before. So what's helped me personally through my recovery is that I was very lucky that I joined some great support groups. I'll go ahead and link those below. And I was able to meet two people that were diagnosed by my same neurosurgeon around my same age, and one was decompressed the same day as me, and one was decompressed 2 months before me. So it was helpful seeing my friend who was decompressed 2 months before me and speaking to her about her journey, and that way I knew what was coming up for myself. Obviously, we've had our own trials and tribulations because no one is the same. No decompression for one person is going to be the same as a decompression for a second person. So in my case, mine was 16 millimeters descended and my friend's was, I think, 8 millimeters descended. So mine was all the way down to my C2. So I needed a craniotomy and a C1 and C2 laminectomy. She just needed a craniotomy and a C1 laminectomy. So no two Chiaris are the same, but having people around me that have Chiari and understand what I'm going through because they've gone through it, I can't explain how helpful it's been, especially post decompression and being so limited to what you're allowed to do. It's very hard mentally. It's not just hard physically because yes, you're healing and you're in so much pain, but it's also hard mentally because you're kind of just stuck. You feel like a burden. You're relying on people to take you to the store. As for myself, I've always been very independent. So to have people stop their lives to take me to physical therapy or to take me to the store, just simple things like that, it weighs on me mentally. And to be not able to be up and go to the gym or go for a run, it's just hard. And I've built myself my little community, and we check up on each other like every other day to see how we're doing, and I just would like that to grow because it's lonely. It's scary and it's lonely, and I remember trying to explain it to people how scary Chiari was, and they would tell me, but you look fine. And it was the most frustrating thing because yes, I physically look okay. I physically looked okay, but they weren't seeing how my vision, I was losing my vision randomly, or they weren't seeing how I would randomly just be in the grocery store and get a dizzy spell to the point where I almost fell in the aisle, or they don't see how randomly I'm driving and my arm or leg goes completely numb, because it's all neurological. So when I found my first friend via my support group, I just remember that feeling of how good it felt to be seen and heard, and that's what I want for everybody. As I said, I just wanted to go ahead and start this video as a small video, just start off my channel. I just wanted to introduce myself and explain what Chiari Malformation is, the common symptoms of Chiari Malformation. I plan on getting more in depth my next couple of videos. I will go ahead and also link in this video. I'm hoping that Dr. Greenfield is still doing second reviews on MRIs. I'll go ahead and put the link to where you could submit your MRI to him for a second opinion, and I'll go ahead and link some of the Facebook support groups that I have joined that have really helped me in building my little community. But the next video I'll go more in depth about my symptoms specifically and how hard it was for me to finally get a diagnosis. That is all for this video. I hope that it is helpful, and I hope that these next couple of videos will be extremely helpful as well. Thank you so much for watching.